Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC talk show. It's time for the Dudes in Blue, episode number 144. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Antonino. What's up, everyone?
Dude, what's happening?
Nothing much. I'm still thawing out from Saturday's game.
It's chilly, man. It's chilly. Chilly in March.
It was very. It's down. The closer you get to the pitch, I feel like the more windy it gets, and I think that was pretty much the problem because we went in the center field by the party decks over there, and with the sunshine, it wasn't like it was bearable, but our section's in the shade the whole time, and it was not fun.
Yeah. Fun times for all. Guys, start letting us know in the comments where you are watching and tuning in from. We appreciate you spending time with us. Give us a follow, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. We got a lot to cover in tonight's episode. We have in the New York Groove, we're going to be talking about the match NYC against LAFC when LAFC came to town. Another game, another draw, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Definitely some talking points there. We'll hear from some of the LAFC guys. We'll hear from some of the NYCFC guys as well. Some interviews after the match, thanks to Anthony Merced, our contributor. Then we're going to talk about our Dude of the Week. In that segment, we'll figure out who you guys thought was the one that stood out the most. Then in the far post, we're going to take a little bit of a trip around MLS, talk a little bit of international duty because there's a lot of NYCFC players that got their call-ups, which is a good thing. And it's good and bad. It's good and bad. You know, it is what it is. And then we got Ants Rants, and then we got the short corner with your rapid-fire Instagram story questions as well. But before we do get into that, guys, let me just say a quick hello to a couple of the fans on the broadcast. Joey saying, "Hey dudes, another day, another tie." Yes, it's unfortunate. Henry checking in saying dudes. John Levin, being the optimist that he is, says #undefeated, which I like that. Andres says undefeated caballeros. What's going on, Andres? Guys, thanks so much for spending time with us. We're going to get ready to set this thing off. And before we do, just make sure to hit that share button and let your NYCFC faithful friends, family know that you're hanging out with the Dudes in Blue tonight. So, dude, ready to get this thing going?
Let's do it.
The New York Groove. All right, dude, it's time for the New York Groove. Time to go over the match that we just witnessed, unfortunately resulting in a 2-2 draw. NYCFC taking 3 points out of a possible 9, which is not great. Not great.
Well, some would say it's better than no points out of 9.
Yeah. This team's getting pretty good at giving up leads, my friend.
Yeah. Is it worrisome at this point? A little bit, in my opinion. I think this team played its best game
For sure.
over the weekend.
Agreed.
They looked much more solidified. It looks like everyone kind of knows where everyone else is playing, and you get that cohesion that we always talk about. They looked so much more cohesive this game than the first two. But again, it's a couple defensive lapses, and you get punished. And I think that's a product of I think Alex Rink playing a little bit higher than he's used to. I think James Sands is doing a fantastic job of being that holding defensive mid. He's really playing well. But I think when Alex Rink pushes up, I think it leaves the counter attacking a little bit vulnerable. And I think it's part of the reason why is that you don't have a true striker yet. It's that person you're relying on for a little bit more offense, and now you're asking other people to kind of do things they don't normally do. And granted, he's put in, he scored a goal, but at the same time, if you had a striker there, maybe that person, ends up getting a goal, and you don't give up one going the other way. Because you have guys playing, coming back a little bit faster and getting in position. So for me, I think it's going to come with time. I think it's going to take a few more games, to be honest with you. We have some rough opponents over the next couple of weeks, and we've got some international duty. So things like injuries can happen and whatnot. We, knock on wood, we hope that's not the case. But, it's hard not to be pleased with all the positive play that happened over the weekend. The negative, listen, those things are going to happen. It's just, can you minimize them, and can you, at this point now, can we put in more goals than the other team? Which sounds, it sounds simple and like at the point of the game.
Sounds like John Madden. If you
But,
score more goals than the other team, you're probably going to win.
Probably going to win. But no, it comes down to that Vieira philosophy of we're gonna score more than we concede. I don't think this team is quite built for allowing other teams opportunities to score because you think you're going to score more than them. I think you got to tighten up on defense, and I really think the missing striker right now, someone who's got the head for that position, is really one small missing piece that could actually make this team much, much, much better.
So the way that things were kind of set up, it was kind of like a 4-3-3 with Maxi Morales setting up as that false 9, which, again, he's not a real 9 or a false 9. He
ain't even 5'9".
He looks like he's 9. I don't know. I feel like, again, we keep going back to we don't have a striker, and it happens more and more. Maxi Morales last year was due to the year because not because of just the goals, but because of the chances and the goals that he created out of the midfield.
Yeah,
when you put that guy up top on an island and is supposed to be acting like the hold-up guy essentially, you're not going to create all that much, and you're going to have guys like Alex Ring getting very far forward, where James Sands, being great but still being young, still needs that help back there. Alex Ring. You almost need 2 6s and one that can kind of go box to box. Ring is not really going box to box.
No, not in this case.
Right. So you have very few attacking options. Mitrita looks like an absolute beast, but dude, the guy can't do it all by himself. The guy cannot do it all by himself.
I have a slight issue with him, and not so much an issue, but I wanted to bring it to your attention. You've got people that say he looks really good, he's amazing, he's got a lot of skill, and then you have a few other people that say, yeah, but sometimes he's a little too selfish, and he holds the ball too long, and he tries to do too much. I, for one, think, yes, he's got the skill, that's great, but he does give the ball away a lot in the box because he's trying to hold up the play and he can't. Now, is that I'm not sure if that's a product of not having an outlet, not having that striker to be the target guy, or is it the fact that he can't make up his mind and he's trying to do too much, actually?
Well, we want our cake and we want to eat it too, right? Like, we wanted a player that was not afraid to run at defenses.
Right.
We got him. The downside is doesn't like to pass the ball, right? So it's like I think you give him more time. Remember, this is a brand new league. It's a whole new world for him. He's like on a magic carpet ride.
I was going to break it the song right there.
I know. I dangled it there for you. And Gare on Facebook is saying that Mitrita's goal was from another world. Listen, we've seen the flashes of brilliance, including this absolutely monstrous goal. I mean, literally scoring between 3 defenders. He cuts back and just absolutely thunders it into the top corner, and that's what you want to see. And then a couple minutes later, smacks the crossbar on a free kick. So the guy definitely has it, but you need other players around him that are also threats. And I don't think we have that. And when you put a classic number 9, a classic striker up top, and then Mitrita, and where Maxi Morales can drop back a little bit because now he's got a couple of outlets, then you're looking dangerous. But when your goal is to try to get the ball to Maxi and wait for your wingers to attack up the field and wait for Mitrita to get up the field, it's not going to work. You're going to get less chances than you would if you had more attacking threats.
Yeah, that's true. I also think his pace comes into play at this point. I think he gets down the field so fast that he does have to spend time waiting on other players to get into position. I also think you're pretty much seeing Alex Ring play where Maxi played last season, where he's more of that he can fill in, slot into that that attacking midfielder role. So technically, if you had that number 9, you would end up putting Maxi in Ring's spot, and Ring ends up dropping back, and all of a sudden you've got a two-headed beast at CDM that it would be hard pressed to get by those two guys and the back four that we can put out there. So I think it's silly to keep repeating it, but I think that one piece, that striker, could ultimately make a huge difference, not only on the offensive side, but because it allows the defense to drop back a little bit and play the way that they're used to. Don't get me wrong; it's nice to see Alex Ring score goals, and I wouldn't mind seeing him come up and score, with someone else in the midfield. But at the same time, I think I would rather someone else be in that position to put the ball away and have him stop something going back the other end.
Because listen, if that opens up the counter, and that's exactly how we got beat. It happened in Orlando, and it happened. Well, it didn't necessarily happen on Carlos Vela's first goal. That was more of a mistake out of the back from Maxime Chanot, putting the ball, essentially heading the ball right onto Latif Blessing's foot. But
it was a blessing for Blessing.
He was Blessing. Yeah, it was amazing. It's not amazing. So, look, it's unfortunate. I want to talk a little bit about the goals, dude, in a little bit, but we've got some interviews that we got to get to. Yeah. Hearing from some of the guys after the match, and we'll kind of dissect the interviews a little bit, talk about the goals, and then move on from there. Sound good?
Sure.
First up, we've got Brad Bobley, or as some would like to call him, Bob Bradley, the head coach of LAFC. Check out what he had to say about the match.
They have some good ideas on how to play on this field. So they used Morales today as a false nine. They found him and had guys running off of him. They did a good job of overloading our right side with Mitrita, obviously playing out on that side. Some of it is still that the ball turns over quickly, and in terms of trying to control the game where you connect enough passes, that was pretty hard. But I thought we adjusted well at halftime.
So he felt as though, what I'm kind of taking away from that is that he felt that we put a lot of pressure on them to turn over the ball. And that's one thing that I kind of like about this new NYCFC is that, if you notice, dude, when an opposing player gets on the ball, there are one or two NYCFC players almost immediately on him, almost like a Red Bull style press, but not as high, but man to man a little bit stronger than usual.
Yeah, they tend to do that. That this is a thing that Pep's been doing for a while, over across the pond, and it's kind of like this 7-second press where you kind of try to win the ball back within 7 seconds, and if you can't do it, then you back off and give them a little bit of space and get in position. It's a good strategy, especially on a small field, because you can turn the ball over and work your way down fairly quickly. The thing is that you just got to be careful that you're not, if you're too slow, it can cause a lot of problems. But I like it. I think it's a nice way to play. Sometimes if you press too much the entire time, you can end up getting really, really exhausted really quickly, and then you really don't have enough subs to get enough fresh legs on the field to make a difference. And you're also a threat to get beat by the long ball over the middle, which is always dangerous with this squad. From our perspective speaking, that's been a weakness of ours for a while, is a ball over the top.
Let me get
I like it. I like it. I like that play. I like putting pressure on. I like forcing turnovers, because you get odd man rushes, and odd man rushes lead to easier goals than trying to score around 4 players,
especially on a short pitch like Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
those turnovers in the midfield can be very quick. Can turn into quick scoring opportunities. So this is funny. Mark David on Facebook says Bob Bradley looks like a Bond villain. Well, he does.
He might be.
He just might be. So that was Bob Bradley. Dude, I want to get to Carlos Vela, because we got a chance to catch up with him after the match, and let's hear what he had to say. This is fun. Here we go.
I think today was a really tough game. Both teams make a really good chances to win the game, but in the end, I think it's just the result.
Said it was a very, very tough game. I think it was probably tougher for us because of the mistakes that were kind of gifted to those guys, the goals that that man scored. I mean, listen, the finish on the first one, you can't take that away from him. It was absolutely fantastic. But you got to give credit to Maxime Chanot in a negative light that he turned over that ball, and then you got to call out Ben Sweat for kicking. Who did he kick in the box? Was it Blessing? I think he kicked Latif Blessing in the box.
I think
maybe
so.
Inadvertently. I don't necessarily think it was intentional, but nevertheless, in this day of VAR, if you put that foot out, you're gonna make contact. It's gonna get seen at some point. So, I think it was a tough fought game. I think the stars were kind of shining toward LA a little bit with regards to the mistakes that we made.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, you have more possession, but if you can't do anything with it, and then in the lapses you have so little margin for error when you do that, it'll come back to bite you, and that's exactly what happened here. Again, penalty, is it soft? Yes, but you've got to be able to put yourself in a position where you can defend and no way commit a foul. The minute you try to do too much, you put yourself at risk, especially with VAR. With the ability to look.
That's just it. Soft foul or not, it doesn't matter. VAR is trying to make things very black and white. You either fouled him or you didn't. You either touched it with your hands or you didn't. You either did this or you didn't. Now, again, if you go back to the Orlando game, we escaped one, with VAR. But it's designed to make things a lot more black and white. And when you kick a guy in the box, or you pull a guy down in the box, or you touch the ball with your hands in the box, and they go to VAR, 9.9 times out of 10, that call is going to go against you. It's just what's going to happen. And there's a lot of guys calling out Ben Sweat for the game that he had, for the mistakes that he made. And listen, he had a poor game. He had a poor game as a sub.
Here's the thing. In my opinion, he gets a lot more attention when he does something negative than when he does something positive. Because he does do a lot of good things. I mean, he pretty much created the second goal with his hustle and his hold-up play to get that ball back.
He got the assist. He got the assist on Alex's goal.
So he did a good thing and he did a not-so-good thing.
But
again, it's tough. You can't say the guy didn't have an awful game. It wasn't like he made mistake after mistake after mistake. He made one mistake, but he also created a chance that we capitalized on. So I think for me, it's more of a little bit of a wash. I don't think he's a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. I just think he gets a lot more flack than he actually deserves. I think he has more good games than he does bad games, especially when he's allowed to be part of the offense and whip that ball in from the left-hand side. And then when you have him and Mata on the field, it should create a wonderful advantage for you because you've got two guys that can ultimately interchange up and down the field.
Well, it did turn into a goal, right? I mean, it did. Like we can't discount that. Mark on Facebook is saying that it's not just that he had a poor game; it's because he had a poor game after coming in for Ofori, who was playing well. But again, Ofori wasn't. There was nothing coming from that. I think Ben Sweat coming on for Ofori allowed Mitrita to push forward into the midfield to possibly create more chances that way. But ultimately that didn't necessarily come to fruition too much. But at the same time, I understand.
I'll tell you what, though, with Ofori had a lot of good switches of the play where he got the ball to Tati on the other side.
I'm liking him.
And I'm sorry if it's hard to do in Yankee Stadium. If Mitrita's on that side and Ofori's passing to him, I think the game is completely different. I think that Tati is a little bit out of his element here. I don't think he's got what it takes up top. I just don't see it. Same thing with Medina. I really just don't see what is so special and why these guys were brought in over other options. But I think Ofori had a really solid game. And when you give him a chance to pass the ball rather than just move him station to station and have him be a middleman with the other midfielders, you can see he can do some good. And he has that little bit of offensive prowess when he gets a chance that he can put a ball in from outside the box. But I was really pleased with his passing yesterday. I thought he was really, really good.
Yep, I've said keep an eye out for a Forey. There's a reason why there's a reason why he stayed. There's a reason why they kept him around. It's because there's some talent there, and I think again it's going to come down to he's another player that it's going to depend on who's around him. For sure. So, dude, I want to get to a couple more players before we move on to the Dude of the Week. Let's hear from Mitrita after his first MLS goal.
Sure.
I feel good for my first goal, but the result is not so good for us. But we have time. We have so much games, and you have time to learn from mistakes.
So he was happy with the goal, right? Of course, like he's gonna be. But then he says, they're not happy with the result, but there's still time. There's still a lot of games to fix the mistakes. You got to take every point you can get, especially at home. You can't be dropping points at home because in this league, road wins, road points are very hard to come by, and your home should be a fortress. And I understand that it's early in the season. I understand that he's getting acclimated, but I'm sorry. This is New York, dude. We want results, and we want them now, and especially when we're accustomed to them at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, no, for sure. I will tell you the one positive thing about starting off slow and then gelling a little bit later on. It does make for a much better playoff push than what we've been having. I would much rather the season turn out reverse of what it was the last two seasons. I would rather come in like a lamb and out like a lion rather than the other way. To be fair, it's not fun losing or dropping points your last 15, 16 games and then trying to go into the playoffs and be a force when it's far easier to go in with an 8-game winning streak or winning your last 7 out of 10 or something along those lines. So, again, it is early and you are picking up points. You're not losing games, but relatively quickly you're going to have to do something to start getting wins and start creating some space between you and the people at the top. They're only 4 points out of the first place, and it's super early to be discussing that. But again, if you're telling me that you're going to try to get a striker in the summer window, I don't know if this team can carry on this way up until that window opens up. I think at that point it's too late. I don't think they can just tread water. I think they need to. You're right. They need to find ways how to win games now and string them together in groups of 2 and 3. You can't go on a tear and win 4 and then all of a sudden lose 6. It's not going to work that way. You create
Orlando.
gaps that way. It's not good.
Poor Orlando. I did read somewhere. Oh, let me get to this comment here. Joey on Facebook says, I don't consider the DC draw dropping points, but Orlando FC games were dropped 4 points. Have the lead with 20 minutes left. Got to find a way to finish the job. I'm sorry, man. Any opportunity at home where you don't come away with 3, you're leaving points on the table. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. I read a tweet. I don't remember who tweeted it, so I can't give you credit. I'm sorry. And if there's some weight to this, it's very scary. But NYCFC has 16 points out of their last 16 matches.
Yeah, that's not good.
That is scary. Scary, scary, scary.
That's not good.
So
not good.
We're averaging a point a game, gentlemen. And come on, boys. Let's figure out a way to, I don't know, maybe finish a game with the lead intact. I don't know, dude. Yeah. Let's hear from our captain. Let's hear from Alex Ring. And again, thanks to Anthony Merced for being able to get these for us after the game on Sunday. So here is Alex Ring. See what he had to say.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the theme of the MLS since I've come here. Always takes 3-4 games to get into the rhythm. I think we've gotten better game by game. But yeah, disappointing to lead twice and then give up points at home, of course. Yeah, it gives me freedom to play a bit higher. I've done that before in my career, and I play where the coach puts me on the field, what position he puts me on the field. I try to do my best.
So the first little segment there from Alex was saying how it takes a few games to kind of get into the flow of MLS, and that's kind of the way that it has been. But last year we started off pretty much on a tear. So again, you say that because you're in the position that you're in. I mean, this is just good PR. If you were winning, you'd be saying something totally different. You know what I mean? It's not like let's call it what it is. And then he talks about getting up higher up the field, and really he kind of put that off onto Dome, saying that, you know, if that's what the coach wants me to do, then that's what I'm going to do. He says he's been accustomed to playing there before, but dude, we know Alex and where he belongs, and it's not as a striker.
Yeah, it's not a prolific goal scorer at this point.
No, certainly not.
Again, when you ask players and coaches questions, it's very difficult. Very seldom do you get a 100% honest answer. You get the PR chopped up version that, you know, sounds good, and it's cookie cutter stuff. It's, you know, cliches and things like that. Again, it's you want to come away with the points. You want to win games. That's more important. It's nice when you score and you contribute, but if you don't win ultimately, you're always going to say the same thing, that you want to win rather than, you know, pad your stats, so to speak. So it could potentially all be solved with the acquisition of one person who knows what they're doing in the middle of the field, up on the top. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yep, 100%. You know, disappointing result, 2-2 draw. I'm a little disappointed with it, considering you had the lead twice in the match and you dropped it both times. So for me, it's kind of a letdown. But, dude, we have to move on to the dude of the week, the positive, the thing that we took away, the player that we took away that was the dude that shined the most. But before we do, guys, stick around for the end of the show, because we have a very special giveaway that we're going to be starting with the Dudes in Blue. Antonino and I have been collecting things to give away, and we are very excited to do so. So stick around for the end of the show to find out what that is. But until then, let's get over to the Dude of the Week.
Let's do it.
Dude of the Week. Okay, guys, start putting those comments in. Who did you think was the Dude of the Week? Who outshined everybody this week? Dude, you got anybody on top of your mind while the comments start to roll in? Yeah, I know. Me too.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, again, I think the easy choice is obviously Mitrita, because of in the fashion he scored, the free kick drilling the corner of the net off the post. But again, there are those plays where he's holding onto the ball too long, can't get rid of it, gives the ball away. Does the good outweigh the bad at this point? I guess. So I think he's pretty much the logical option. Again, you could talk about Afori and showing improvement. You could talk about Sands being an absolute friggin' beast in the middle of the field. He is doing very well in a role that he was just thrown into. And I'm going to have to go with Mitrita at this point, just because no one else really stood out that much.
We got a couple of votes for Mitrita in the comments. We have a couple for James Sands. David says, James Sands, I literally said to myself that I could not believe that he's a teenager during the game. John Farrell is giving it to James Sands as well. But again, Dude of the Week is about somebody that does what they normally do and then goes kind of above and beyond in that regard. And you could make a case for Carlos Vela as well. Being, you know, having the game essentially the point on his foot, but I like Mitrita here because he got his first goal, number one. I mean, I know that's the low hanging fruit here, but also we saw the more flashes of what this guy could actually be when he has more people around him that will be able to give him the service that he needs and be able to create the chances with him. Again, more comments coming in for James Sands, dude. So what do we do here?
Oh, I don't know. Can you count them? Can you go count them and see who's got more?
I can tell you right now, James Sands has more. And Felix says, not for that celebration, though. Can I just say that Carlos Vela's celebration was amazing? Give me a break.
He's a tool.
Come on.
He's a tool. Yeah, we get it. We get it. You scored a freaking sitter, and you make fun of him.
Wait. That was not a sitter. His first goal was not a sitter by any means.
That 1-on-1 with Sean Johnson.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
The only person who can't score on that play is Maxi. Maxi's putting it right in the keeper. We all know that.
All right, listen, we're perseverating on this for way too long. I'm going with people in the comments here, dude. James Sands gets it.
Sands earned it.
Congratulations, James Sands. You've earned another Dude of the Week. It's time to move on to the Far Post, where we're going to talk about things around the league and maybe around the world. Let's do it. The Far Post. Okay, another crazy weekend in MLS, dude. I just want to go over kind of some of the headlines here while we are in the Far Post. And the first one is FC Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati played their very first home game in MLS and got their very first win. Very, very happy for those guys. Against a tough Portland team.
Their fans are by far some of the best in the league, and they just got in. But they have been known to pack their stadium from years prior. We actually played them in a preseason game a few years back, and they look fairly solid. They look like a good team. And then as you kind of pay attention to them coming through, and you realize that they packed their stadium, I think it's almost like 40,000 people. On a regular basis. And watching those guys march down the street and fill the entire street was so impressive. And I think that is what this sport is really all about. It was really fun to see that.
Yeah, you got to give them credit. And I tweeted out, they officially have more points than we do through 3 matches. So congratulations, Cincinnati. Oh, we got to step it up. Next up, Atlanta still cannot find a way to win in league play, drawing 1-1 with Portland at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yet again, man, Frank de Boer is... We've talked a little bit about it last week, and it's very, very interesting what's happening down there.
Yeah, I really can't see them lasting too much more like this. They're going to turn it around. It's what happens when your team has 2 really good seasons and all of a sudden things start to go a little haywire and all of a sudden everybody is jumping ship, but they are out for blood in a bad way down
very sad.
Down where the peaches grow.
Very sad. Sounders still cruising high. Sounders are the only team right now that have 9 points out of 9. And good for them. They're flying high. The only other one that I wanted to kind of touch on, dude, was the DC United game. I did not watch a more fun match than DC United against RSL. RSL picking up 2 red cards, going down to 9 men. Wayne Rooney scoring a hat trick. And DC United absolutely destroying RSL 5-0. It was just a fun game to watch. It was like after their draw with us last week, the scoreless draw, they decided to make up for that and then some. And they are, if I'm not mistaken, DC United is the only team in MLS that has not allowed a goal yet this season. So very impressive.
Hamid is the real deal over there. If he keeps this up, he's going to have himself. He's going to put himself in the running for keeper of the year.
Man, Frederick Briand, I wonder how that feels to be on a winning team.
Well, at least he's not scoring on Hamid.
Frederick Briand. Fred. So yeah, just a very, very, very fun weekend in MLS. Now, this is an international break, but there are still plenty of MLS games coming this weekend. So we will definitely see some things happening, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
NYCFC does not play this weekend, so we've got that. But, dude, real quick, I just want to give a nod to the 8 NYCFC players that got international call-ups for this break. Here they are. Alexander Collins gets called up for Peru. Maxime Chenot gets called up for Luxembourg. Sean Johnson and Jonathan Lewis getting the call-up for the U.S. men's national team by Greg Berhalter. Ronald Mitrita going to Costa Rica. Mitrita and Tinnerholm being called up as well, and Juan Pablo Torres. Now, here's what's interesting. Mitrita and Tinnerholm. Did
you get Tajuri? I think Tajuri got called up as well today.
That must have happened today because this is the old one. Yes, so Tajuri Shradi got called up as well. Now, here's the thing. Mitrita and Tinnerholm are playing against each other. Romania v. Sweden in a Euro qualifier. Like, whoa.
Yeah. That's going to be
That's awesome.
a lot of fun to watch because will he be on the same side of the field if he's playing on the left?
If Tinnerholm yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to be.
It'll be Mitrita versus Tinnerholm.
Literally.
That's great.
That's going to be one to watch. Two teams that are scrappy and obviously not in that upper echelon of European football, but at the same time, they usually put on good shows. We know Sweden knocked Italy out of the World Cup last year, so they're riding high. That's going to be a fun one. I'm really looking forward to that.
For sure. So, tip of the hat to the NYCFC guys that actually got their call-ups, and we don't have to worry about missing out on them because we don't play. How fantastic is that?
Amazing.
It's really great. So, dude, we're gonna do a quick rants.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna talk a little bit about our giveaway, and then we're gonna wrap it up with the short corner with our rapid fire Instagram story questions to wrap this show up. You ready to do it?
Let's do it.
It's time for Ants Rants. All right, dude, it's time for Ants Rants. Dude, what's got you pissed off this week?
All right, so not a whole hell of a lot. I'll start off on a nice note by saying the LAFC supporters were there were about 200 of them came out, did a fantastic job. Were loud, cheered the whole game before, during, after. Kudos to them. A nice traveling group, didn't cause any problems. A pleasure to have them over. But man, am I tired of people making fun of the field, complaining about the field. The field doesn't look good. The field doesn't look good. Dude, it's March in New York. It's still winter. I don't know anybody's grass who looks good at this time of year. Complaining about it's sod. It's not grass. What do you think is supposed to look like? Would you rather them play on turf? I really don't understand. And the size of the pitch, it fits. It's within the guidelines of FIFA rules. Stop bitching about it. There's a bunch of teams in Europe that have the same size field. There's my sight lines, and it doesn't look good on TV. You know what? You got a problem? Grab a shovel and start digging for a new stadium somewhere. Or start tipping off people about real estate because it's not happening. It's not happening. So you know what? The grass is going to look like that for another 3 to 4 weeks, and then it'll be lush and green, and we'll have something else to complain about. But to me, to be fair, the field is not terrible. Nobody's really slipping as much as usual. Have you noticed? I haven't seen people go down fairly often as much as they did last season. So just people, stop bitching. Stop bitching and just watch soccer and have fun.
Just bitch about the play on the field, not the field itself.
We have a team in our backyard. You don't have to go to Red Bull Arena and spend 4 hours in a parking lot to get out after every game. You don't have to take 3 trains to get there, and you don't have to walk 3.5 miles to get inside the stadium.
I wanted to make a joke about the grass being greener, but I can't.
It's just not. It's. But what do you expect? What do you expect? Oh, it's like leaving cheese out on the counter and it gets Yeah, you left it out on the counter. What do you think? That's what's gonna happen. It's winter in New York. It snows, it rains, it's windy, and grass doesn't grow. It's muddy, it's patchy, it's brown. Get over it.
There you have it. Ants Rants for episode 144. Look at that.
Moving on,
dude. Hey, listen, so before we get to our final segment, the short corner where we do rapid fire Q&A kind of questions, giveaway time, baby.
Let's do it.
All right, so I got to just quick tell the fans and the listeners what's going on. So Anthony and I have accumulated in the last 5 years a lot of NYCFC stuff. I'll say too much. I'll say too much. I'll say too much NYCFC stuff.
All right.
Some things signed, some things not, some things memorabilia, some things that are not. There's so much stuff, and I'm trying to clear things out. You're trying to clear things out, and we said, you know what? Let's start giving some crap away.
Yeah, and it's not like it's like junk.
No,
like, I'm not
no, you'll see.
Not giving you like pens and stuff like
No,
that.
no.
We've got some really cool stuff that I would say, aside from people who actually collect a lot of things, these are nice little tokens that I would say most people really don't have.
Yeah, exactly. Ari is saying Marie Kondo style. This stuff does not spark joy. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, there it is. And John Farrell, these do not spark joy. Love it. All right. So, dude, first giveaway. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to do this every week for every show. So here's what we got this week. I'm going to show it to you. This is, if you can see it, is an autographed Jonathan Lewis rookie card from when he was drafted in the 2017 MLS Super Draft. It's numbered number 313 out of 455, if you can see that there. Now, somebody's going to win this. Somebody's going to win this card. And all you got to do is go to our Facebook page and leave a comment on the live show video. Now, if you're in the broadcast right now on Facebook and you've already left a comment, guess what? You're already entered to win. If you're not, if you're listening on the pod or if you're watching this later on, go to Facebook, facebook.com/dudesinblue. Leave a comment on the video of the live show for episode number 144. That's how you're going to do it. We'll pick a winner next week in our episode 145. We'll announce the winner live during the show, and we'll have another giveaway for you as well. Pretty awesome. So once again, guys, all you got to do to win this Jonathan Lewis rookie card signed by Mr. Lewis himself is to leave a comment on the Facebook Live video. It's pinned to the top of the page, Dudes in Blue, facebook.com/dudesinblue, and you're entered to win. It's that simple. What do you think?
I mean, I like it. I don't usually part ways with a lot of my stuff, but it's a lot of stuff that I could afford to share with other people who might not be able to get things fairly easily.
Yep.
And they're nice. It's nice stuff. It's not like junk. I'm not going through my junk drawer and finding. I'm not giving you a flashlight and a pen and a stapler. It's stuff that's relevant to the
patch.
team. Yeah, no, we're not giving anything like that. Anything that the stadium gave you, we're not giving you. This is stuff that we've accumulated, that we've gone out of our way to get over the last couple of years.
It's totally legit. So, guys, if you're listening on the pod, facebook.com/dudesinblue, or you can even, just go to facebook.com/dudesinblue. We're going to change it up as well, guys. So sometimes the contest will be on Instagram. Sometimes it'll be on Twitter. It'll be on Facebook. We're doing it all over the place to get everybody involved.
I will say this, not to give away any details, but eventually there will be a pair of signed cleats given away.
What?
Yeah. So we will be doing that. We're not sure when, but
or how.
I have them, but we'll figure out how and when. So you're going to want to stay tuned, and you're going to want to watch these episodes if you want a chance to win them, because that comes at no cost to you except for spending 45 minutes with us every Monday night.
And if you guys want an extra chance to win, make sure to share the video with your friends. That will absolutely help your chances of winning as well. Because if we see that you share it, you get an extra notch in the box. That's what you want. So make sure to share the video as well.
Notch in the box.
I don't know what the hell I just said. It's a notch in the box.
Notch in the box.
That's it. It's a notch in the box. I'm sure you guys want to win this card. There's going to be lots more things like that, so please do that.
Who's got the box? Who's got the box of notches?
One more thing before we get to the short corner and wrap this show up, dude. Show the fans the goodness that was delivered today to your house.
All right, guys. These are the shoes that we have designed. They are our 2019 home kicks, we're calling them. These are, to be perfectly frank, these are much better quality than I even thought they were going to be. Everything is printed crisp and clear. These are like a lot of the Vans that people wear. I know the Vans make a popular shoe. It's very similar to that. You've got your navy and orange stripe that's featured on the last two kits that we've had, two home kits that is. You've got the old NYC flag in the back. They're actually pretty comfortable. The insole has got like little memory foam pockets in it. I can't really show you because you're not gonna be able to see it, but they're from Bucket Feet, so a reputable company. These are just really, really nice. These are actually Lauren's. I got them for Lauren. These are the very first pair made. These are number one. They're number one in the collection.
101.
But listen, they've been selling. They've probably been our number one seller, and they've only been out for like 2 weeks. And we've sold a lot of T-shirts last year. So this month, free shipping, which saves you a lot because these are a little bit on the heavy side. So if you want to get them, it takes right around like 2 weeks, like between 2 and 5 days to process and 2 to 5 days to ship. So you're looking at like a 10 business days type deal thing. But these are awesome. I would order them now so that you have them for when it gets a little bit warmer. But they're a lot of fun. You have two different kinds. You've got one that goes with this kit, and then you got one that goes with the new kit or that kit. And if you don't believe me, I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's incredible. It's incredible. We've outdone ourselves here. No, but seriously, our website, dudesandblue.com. Click on the shop tab. You can search collections. There's a bunch of new merch on there. We're going to have a new sweatshirt coming out relatively soon. We have a new Alex Ring shirt. We'll have another new Alex Ring shirt. But check it out. There's a bunch of stuff on there. There's a bunch of Dudes in Blue jerseys that have replicated our kits of the past and the present. So take a look. If you want to order, if you want, I think the minimum shipping, free shipping is $45. So if you got
the shoes, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if you got a bunch of friends and you all each want a T-shirt, you all pitch in, you all benefit from the free shipping, and you do it that way. We've done that before. We've ordered stuff together just to reach minimums, just to get some cool swag, some merch. So again, these are really, really awesome. They are awesome quality. They look freaking fantastic in my opinion, and I just saying that because we did it. But I'm really happy with these, and I think you will be too.
Awesome. Go to dudesandblue.com, click on shop, and order your shoes. Thank you for the support. We really do appreciate it, guys. It helps. Listen, we're not getting rich off of this, but it helps keep the show going and to be able to do stuff like this for sure.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Dude,
absolutely.
let's wrap this thing up with some rapid fire Q&A. It's time for the short corner. Are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
Again, you guys asked us questions on our Instagram story, and keep in mind, after the matches, and usually at least once a week, we post an Instagram story asking you to ask us questions. It could be NYCFC related. It could be completely from left field and have nothing to do with the team. But this is the time where we answer them. So you ready to do this? The rules are simple. I sound like the other schmuck. Anyway, the rules are simple. I read them, we answer quick, and we move on. Ready?
We'll do it.
All right. JRamo14 on Instagram says, besides adding a striker, what position does NYCFC need improvement at the most? Head coach.
That's not fair. Let's go with
rapid fire.
I can't think of a left back.
There you go.
I think left back.
NYCFC fan 7. Should NYCFC go after Alexandru Pato? Possibly.
Listen, I don't care who
a striker.
you go
Just give me a damn striker.
I don't care who you got. Listen, if it happens to be Pato, I'm throwing this out there now. I will personally drive to the airport and pick him up and bring him wherever he wants.
Where would you like to go, sir? Keeping it going. Jamal Shanti 7 on Instagram says, in my opinion, I saw Tati play well. What do you think of having Izzy, Mitri, and Tati in front? I like it. I don't think you're going to see it.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see it. At least not right now. But I think Tati, I think he doesn't have that decisive decision making to be clear cut. I think he tries to wait for the perfect shot. I don't think he's creative enough. I don't see him. I just don't see him being a valuable option on this team at this moment.
NYCF Center on Instagram says, thoughts on the way the season is going so far? I will tell you this. Mathematically, we are averaging a point a game. That leaves us with 34 points, which would put us well below the red line last season. So I'm going to say not that great, but a lot of improvement sure to come.
Yeah, I think you saw them progress a little bit through each game so far. So defensive mistakes aside, I think you should be happy with the way they played. over the weekend, and I think if they continue it, they will be in a good place.
This was their best performance out of the three. This was certainly their best match. A couple of defensive lapses and a couple of just two mistakes led to goals. So if you start to minimize those, start to clean that kind of thing up, you're going to start to see better results. Scotty P14X on Instagram says, the nickname Treats makes me hungry. What treats do you guys enjoy? Well, I will tell you, my wife made some fantastic Rice Krispie treats tonight, and I was enjoying those very, very much.
I am, and I wasn't always, but I have been on the last 3 years. I'm a huge ice cream guy. I don't know what it is, but I'm a big fan, and I try to be on the healthy side, so I'm a big fan of the Halo Top. I think Halo Top is fantastic. The flavors are really great. It's pretty close to real ice cream, but you're looking at like less than 400 calories for a container, so you can eat the whole thing in one sitting like I do, and you're fine.
There you go. M. Lumino on Instagram says, how do we drop Medina and use the money and DP slot elsewhere? Just do it. And do it now.
I second that.
Just do it and do it now. And finally, BT34 on Instagram says, as of now, is NYCFC a playoff team? And I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes. I think they're definitely not top of the table form-wise, but I think with the way they played over the weekend, if they're going to play more games like that, I think they're going to end up being somewhere just over that red line.
Fair enough. Well, that's it, guys. Make sure to keep it locked to our Instagram account for the Instagram story to put those rapid-fire Q&A questions in there. We thank you to all that have put it in, and I like that. That's a lot of fun. It's a fun way to kind of end the show. Remember, guys, for the chance to win this Jonathan Lewis signed rookie card that is numbered 313 out of 455. Only 455 of these were made, so you guys can win one of them. All you got to do is comment on the Facebook Live video, and if you're already in the broadcast and have left a comment, you're already in. If you're listening on the pod, go to facebook.com/dudesinblue and leave a comment there. And if you share the video, just tap the share button. You'll get an extra chance to win if that's possible. So remember, guys, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @dudesinblue. Leave those reviews on iTunes and Facebook. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for buying the shoes. Head over to dudesinblue.com for the shop. Those shoes are fantastic. Our shirts are fantastic. We'll be back here Monday night. Even though NYCFC does not have a game, we'll have plenty of MLS action to uncover and to talk about. But, dude, until next week, stay blue.
Stay blue.